99% of the people that come into a golf shop are absolutely stupid. They ask the dumbest questions. You get phone calls asking if it's going to rain. What's the course like? What would you rate it like? What's the pace of just a bunch of airhead, mindless questions? And on a busy day in Arizona prime season, it can get a little overwhelming. When you're pumping out 300 rounds or whatever it is, and you have stupid questions hitting you in the face all day, especially at the place that I worked, it was more of like, not a muni, but maybe a hair above that. Not $200 a round, not $60 a round, right in that $80 range. So you had, well, middle class clientele. Let's just put it that way. And it didn't come with, the majority of those folks did not have giant brains. And it's one of the coolest things, like outside of the technology and all the other bullshit that comes with lab that everybody's pretty much knocked off anyways. I hope they don't get rid of that aspect, because it's good. That's a good fitting process. Like, it's really good. I agree with you.
Yep. All right, moving beyond the putters, drivers. I don't even know what the right question here is with the drivers. We kind of got into a little bit of a rant several weeks back around golf equipment, and we still need to do a full show around golf equipment, because with drivers especially, it's all marketing, right?
Why can't you do Uber Eats on the golf course? Like, do the same shit. Don't fucking sit like you said. That's part of the etiquette game. Or, hey, what do you got that's quick? Hot dog? Okay, I'll fucking wait. I'll eat later. Half a turkey sandwich? Yeah, give me that. I'll neck it down real quick. I'm good.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook. Tonight, we've got Buttsy with us as our co-host. And on tonight's show, we've got a good one for you, because we're going to be talking about all the amateur golf rants that go on, take place, and really everything about just being an amateur golfer, going out there and playing a round of golf, everything that could possibly come into play. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be ranting about it. We're going to be going over our audience's messages as we go along. So if you guys on the chat and everything do have a good story or something that you want to chime in with, feel free to put it in, and we will certainly comment on all of that. Before we dive into the amateur golf rants, Devereux Golf, folks. Utilize the promo code PullHookGolf20. It's what we're rocking tonight. Butsy's got literally my favorite t-shirt on from Devereux. Play more, folks. That is their motto. I've got the hat on. I've got the checkered. And sure enough, Butsy's got the hat on as well. You can even see that he's got the hybrid cover back there, the checkered one. Love that. He's got some putter covers that he's bringing over right now.
My favorite, the Flying Lady.
Oh, yeah, she's back here.
Yeah, just a close-up of that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, bombs away, it says. And then the Nomi. Yeah, I made the mistake. I did not grab the Nomi putter cover. I just have the driver cover. I should have grabbed the putter one to go along with it.
That is that DeWalt tool font? Is that what that is? No,
what is it? Yes.
Good call, babe. Thank you. I did not know that.
Well done over there at the Buttsy household. Now, once again, the promo code for Devereux Golf is PullHookGolf20 for 20% off your entire order over at DevereuxGolf.com. We also want to make you aware of Rokform, which I have their speaker right now with the camera that's being utilized. We have the golf magnet that gets utilized for camera stands. It comes with a golf shaft that you can stick right into the ground to record your golf swing. I use it whenever I go over to the indoor golf center, Swing Shift Indoor Golf Club, and I've been going over there every morning. Love that place as well. But utilize the promo code PullHook2025 for 20% off as well over at Rokform. And lastly, Vice Golf. Utilize the promo code PullHook. I know that's a lot, but for the official version, it will all be listed down somewhere along this line. So you will see all those promo codes pop up for you. Buttsy, let's start off with an absolute classic. Why are the pro shop guys, and mainly the pro in the pro shop, or as modern golf clubs like to call it, the golf shop, because there's no pro shop. Why are they such dicks sometimes? Why is this a thing?
Well, gosh, having worked in a shop in my youth for multiple years, I'm not real fucking sure. I don't know. I had such a good time doing that and laughing and joking with people that came in, but the only thing that I can think is that you got a bunch of happy people rolling through the door. They're going to play golf, and you're not. You're stuck in the shop. I don't know. I think these guys think that there's some sort of prestige that comes along with working in the golf business for some weird reason. Half of them can't break 90, so those are probably the ones that think that. But I don't have a good answer other than, yeah, you're right. 95% of the guys that work in a shop are pricks, man. So trying to explain why, that's what comes to mind first is you're sitting there all day while people are going out to do what you love to do that you don't have time to do. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it has to do with the fact that the PGA is a bit of a mess. And these guys are getting their PGA cards from the PGA of America. They've got to go in. And first of all, it's just a money grab, is what it is. You go in, you got to take this pre-exam, right? You got to study for it. You got to know the history behind the PGA, when they broke off from the PGA Tour, and how bitter everybody is about that within the organization. And then from there, you got to go spend more money, and you got to go do a player's test, right? A player's ability test. Got to go out, shoot 2 rounds under a certain number. So from there, then you got to pay more money to get into the program, right? You come out of this thing and you're expecting like, and what's crazy to me, Buttsy, and I'll get to the point here in a second, that it hasn't changed. It's starting to change, but it really hadn't changed in like 20 years. Because I remember guys coming right out, getting their PGA card, and all of a sudden, they're Class A, right? And all of a sudden they are making $32,000 and getting some extra money by giving golf lessons,
Dog
right?
shit.
Those were the lucky ones.
Yeah.
The guys that are stuck at a shop and can't teach are just making like 35. And that didn't change over like a 20-year period. Now, the PGA is supposed to be this organization that like takes care and, builds up these pros and so forth. And to me, it was just an absolute, like, it never changed. And so I think a lot of guys come out of that and are bitter because they're not making any money. They can barely live off of the salary. They're tired. Like they have to be
Long
there
hours.
24/7.
Yeah.
A lot of times in golf, which happens in industries where you have a lot of passion around it, it becomes kind of the thing that, oh, are you not dedicated to the game? Are you not willing to come in every single Saturday and Sunday? Like, oh my God, you're going to take a day off from the golf course? And it's
Right.
like,
You're right.
holy crap.
You're absolutely right about that. Playing devil's advocate, I can absolutely say this though: the public is, I can't say the R word anymore. I think we're avoiding the R word, but they're ridiculous. That's the other R. That's the good R word.
Yeah.
Say that R word.
Ridiculous. They're ridiculous. They're crazy.
Dude, they're not just, they're stupid. They're fucking stupid. Let's just call it what it is. 99% of the people that come into a golf shop are absolutely stupid. They ask the dumbest questions. You get phone calls asking if it's going to rain. Yeah. What's the course like? What would you rate it like? What's the pace of, just a bunch of airhead, mindless questions. And on a busy day in Arizona prime season, it can get a little overwhelming when you're pumping out 300 rounds or whatever it is. And you have stupid questions hitting you in the face all day, especially the place that I worked. It was more of like not a muni, but maybe a hair above that. Not $200 a round, not $60 a round, right in that $80 range. So you had well, middle class clientele. Let's just put it that way. And it didn't come with, the majority of those folks did not have giant brains.
So I was telling this story a little bit, but before we obviously started recording the podcast and you were able to join in, I was talking about how during COVID, like right before COVID, my wife wanted to come out. She wanted to move out to Arizona. I owned a business in New York City and we got stuck here initially because the day that our flight was supposed to go back to New York was the day they canceled all the flights due to COVID. So we
Ugh.
ended up staying out here. And after like a little bit of time, I'm like, man, I really should just get a job if we're going to stay out here. So I ended up going up to Quintero and working up
Oh,
there. But
nice.
what was wild is that during COVID, because so many people, that's when we saw on-course participation just skyrocket here in the US, especially in Arizona, because golf courses remained open. And sure enough, there were guys coming in paying like $200-300 during the wintertime, and they couldn't make contact with a golf ball on the driving range. We're like, oh, that's going to be a long day. So we were already telling like the Rangers, hey, you got to pay attention to this group. You got to help them along. You got to make sure that they are, keeping up with the pace of play. But that's where I wonder, and you actually mentioned this, it might have been last week, might have been the week before, around how maybe there should be like a training course that you have to get like a license to come onto the golf course. And I was talking about this today with Trot too, that literally I think it's like back in the day, we would go out, and when you're starting to learn how to play golf, you're going out with your dad or you're going out with uncles, aunts, or whoever is like teaching you how to play. And then a lot of times if you're new to the game, you're going out and playing with guys that know how to play. So you're learning the etiquette, like people are teaching you along. Really now we see it to where you got 4 guys on the golf course that really have never played, and they're out
Yeah.
there just whacking it around. They have no idea to the course etiquette or anything like that. And it's just different because they all started playing at the same time.
And
It's not
and
like they had that.
you got cell phone parents too, right? Like we're finally getting into that, where these kids that grew up on phones had kids, and now like those kids are starting to play golf, and they never took them out. They never showed them etiquette. They never told them how to be or how to act, or let alone get the fucking door for somebody walking into the golf shop. You know what I mean? Or say thank you in return when somebody does that for them. So all these assholes are out there swinging, like you just said. They're all swinging golf clubs, and it's not a game that you can just go do that. And people will grill me for that, especially on Instagram. What are you talking about? You're taking it too serious. I'm like, dude, no. You got to know the basics of kind of the vibe that goes into acting appropriately while undergoing a round of golf. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. Basic shit.
No. Like you go to a firearm range to go fire some guns, and like they're going to show you like a video ahead of time as to like the proper etiquette and so forth. And it's kind of like, man, we're getting to that point to where we need this in the game of golf, where you almost need like a driver's license to go out and play, to where like there should be beginning level courses, and then more of your moderate to advanced, and you can increase as you get better and better. I don't know, like I don't know exactly what the right answer is. I am going to shift gears for a second though off of
Sure, yeah.
that, because Kyle over at Cart Barn Guys brings up a story that I have heard through the grapevine. Thoughts on taking a girl to your home course, grabbing a cart and heading out to the course pond? I heard that this is a true story that did actually occur. So what's your thoughts there?
Yeah, I can't really speak to the extra curricular items that may or may not have been involved in that decision, but that decision was made by one of
This is not
my.
you, by the way.
This is
This is
not
not
me.
you.
No,
He's not.
this is an arch nemesis, you could say, an arch nemesis, a lifelong arch nemesis.
Oh, now you've just
Um,
given it away.
no, there's a few of those, so
Okay.
may have given it away, but showed up to the golf course. I own the place. Didn't say that, just acted as
Acted.
though he did. Got in the cart. We're not saying nothing to nobody, and we're on our own personal little date during public play down by the pond on number one, and we just don't give a fuck who is watching or saying anything about that. We're just gonna do that.
I
So,
heard there was a blanket involved, possibly.
like I said, we're talking, I'm going to go to the golf course
There were
and
some
have
activities.
a picnic on one. And nobody is going to tell me that that is not happening. So that happened.
And it was off of one. I didn't even know that.
It doesn't sound that crazy when you think about it, but if you drove over to True North right now and grabbed a cart and drove over to 18 during the day and laid down and hung out, I don't know. Is that it's a little weird.
It's a little strange, a little strange.
Yeah, it's great. It's like it's great because I don't
How
think
do
anybody said anything.
how do we segue off of that? Yeah. How
I
much
don't
do
know.
you
Weird as
tip the
shit.
cart guy for letting you do that?
I don't know. That's like the audacity of that is so extreme that nobody knows what to do. Right? Nobody knows. Like even the people that work there just kind of. I don't. Okay.
It's not in the handbook. It's not like one of those scenarios that you're like, oh, I know how to handle this. No.
No.
It's one of
Yeah.
those that just goes beyond like the realm, and it's like, man, we're kind of trying to figure this out on the fly. Like, what the hell do we do?
Now the folks that work there know who this individual is, so that helps guide the situation ever so slightly. But the reality is, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's. I think it's fucking hilarious. It's really
That's a
good.
wild one. That is
Yeah.
certainly a wild one.
Yeah.
I, of course, I got to ask the question at this point, but I feel like this can get us both into some trouble. Have you ever taken a girl out onto the golf course for?
No.
You answered that so fast.
No.
I had to prep. I have. So, moving on. We're gonna go to for
I did find a member once, almost drowning that I happened to drive up on, and I think I probably saved his life. That happened
he
one
drove his
day.
cart in, or he was just in the pond.
He got in drunkenly, like blacked out drunk, threw his putter in the pond earlier and went back to recover it or search around and wasn't doing so hot with getting back to the edge of the lake and getting out and was struggling, uh, like scared struggling. So,
Wow.
yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Hey, you saved a life out there. I'm not surprised at all. You know, that's the legend of Buttsy that just keeps growing every episode, every day.
The lifeguard.
Every time we get a new clip from you, there's something that builds the legend even further. And talking about legends now, are you a guy, especially with the new day and age? So let's talk a little bit of putters real quick. We're going to be jumping all over the place, by the way. So we'll get into some competition stuff. I see Kyle's got another question there as well. We'll dive into that in a little bit. But putters, because you've been you've done the zero torque. You are a big blade guy too. Like you can tell that you're a guy that enjoys a good looking putter, right?
I'm a guy that enjoys a
Is
putter
that fair?
for sure. Yes.
So, I mean, what's your opinion on zero torque versus more of the old school blade putter? I've seen a lot of this with Charlie Woods too, with Tiger. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
So I've had this conversation with a lot of people because, generally speaking, people that appear to or show up with a lot of different putters in the bag, it's usually because they're searching for something or they're not making putts and they're looking for the special one. That is not the case with me. Self-proclaimed extremely good putter. I don't care what I'm putting with. I feel like I'm always going to go out and make putts, and I really never bought into like, well, this one's better than that one. Like, I'm going to figure out how to get the ball in the hole, whether I got to use an open, closed door stroke or a straight back, straight through. Like, I'll fit myself to the putter. I more look at the putter corral that I have, a lot like cars. Like, I can't afford 10 cars and like all the different driving characteristics of what those 10 cars would be, what be it a Hummer or a Ferrari or a motorcycle or whatever. So I drive putters. I like to take a different one out for a spin every few days or, once every couple weeks just to look at something new and a little different feel. And that's kind of how I look at it.
That's fair. Do you have a gamer though?
Yes. Yeah, I do. I have I have a very old Scotty Cameron, and Old Faithful
I haven't seen
is
that
what I call it.
in a hot minute. So,
No, it's locked up. Yeah, yeah.
but that's the question. Really, is how is it a gamer when it's locked away?
It's for special circumstances. Yeah.
You didn't break it out for the grass league.
No, no. Mm-mm. This
Might
would
have
have to
been the
be something.
mistake.
Yeah, it's like PF Flyers. Like,
Hmm.
we only put those on for the championship game. I probably should have brought it out for Grass League, but yeah.
For me, the zero torque has become a bit of a game changer that I never thought it would. Like, I was very interested in when I had Sam on the first time on this show. I talked to him, who's Sam Hahn, the CEO of Lab Golf, and I'm curious to see if he's still going to be after they've just been acquired. So, that being said, talked with Sam, and he was just like, dude, we've got the DF3 coming out. You 100% go with that one. Don't do the Mez one. He's like, go with the DF3, and I trusted him. So that was the first time that I've gone away from a blade putter, because I was always a Scotty Cameron, Ping Answer 2. Like, all of those were the putters that I grew up with and that I've putted throughout. And I've always been a very streaky putter. The thing is, though, with that DF3, I'm more consistent with it. And now, like, there were some things that Trot and I have worked on with the putter, just getting into better lines, really, and getting the putter a little bit more into the palms rather than the fingers. And literally, that has changed the short putts for me to where, like, they're dead on line. Like, I'm not pulling short putts or anything like that right now, which is nice. And that being said,
Nice.
like, the DF3 has stayed in the bag longer than any other putter, because I've always like swapped out putters. I was like you. I was a car guy too, to where like every year I was getting a new vehicle in some way, shape, or form. That I have completely changed. When I lived in New York City, I was just like, oh, why do you need a car? And now it's like, why do I need a car payment? So almost pulled the trigger actually the other weekend. I'll talk about that some other time, but did not. I'm still like, man, I don't want to have a car payment. It was big restraint out of that whole entire situation. But with the putters, no, it's not. With the putters, that lab has been in for a long time now. The blade creeped in a couple times, but ultimately went back to the lab putter. So for me, zero torque has made a big difference. It's made me more consistent. Like I said, I still feel like with the blade, I would be streaky. So it is what it is.
You roll it well. Like, you great stroke with that putter too.
Yeah, for some reason it fits me. Well, I did have them fit me. So, and I did the remote fitting for everybody, because I've been questioned about this a lot. Like, a lot of people have reached out asking me about it. And a lot of the people that I've played golf with have gone to DF3 putters because of how well they've saw me before to now. And they're like, holy crap, like, it's kind of changed your putting game quite a bit. And I went through the remote fitting. So just like when Sam told me, because I was like, dude, where can I go in person and get fitted? And he was just like, oh, well, 90% of the guys on tour just have us do the remote fitting. Even though, like, we got a guy that goes out week in and week out. Need to. You really don't, because they've got that thing down to a science. You go through a couple different videos that you record, send it off to them, and the damn thing's perfect. So, yeah.
And it's one of the coolest things, like, outside of the technology and all the other bullshit that comes with lab that everybody's pretty much knocked off anyways. I think, I hope they don't get rid of that aspect, because it's good. That's a good fitting process. Like, it's really good. I agree with you.
Yep. All right, moving beyond the putters, drivers. I don't even know what the right question here is with the drivers. We kind of got into a little bit of a rant several weeks back around golf equipment, and we still need to do a full show around golf equipment, because with drivers especially, it's all marketing, right? So for the most part, why is it so important that if you're going to get fit for a driver, a new one, you're like, I would say the perfect scenario is you've had the same driver for like 3 years. All of a sudden, it's time to change. Why is it so important to go get fit as an amateur golfer?
I mean, fuck, it's such an obvious question, right? Like, it, you got to optimize. Even if you suck, there's a range of optimization that you can still achieve that will dramatically change where your golf ball goes on the golf course. It will lessen a slice. I mean, if you take 20 yards off of a 50-yard slice and you lower the spin, it goes further and straighter, and you can get that. Even just swing weight, man. Like everybody forgets about swing weight. And most people don't know that that's actually a thing. I think the average guy that shoots 100, that plays 5 times a year, has no idea that that can be changed. That's a
Yeah.
feel that you can absolutely change. And if you're a super fast, like naturally, genetically, whatever, that's how you do it, you can get a whole different feel by changing swing weight, or even going to a lighter shaft or whatever. So there's so much feel out there that can help even a shit bag of a golfer be a whole lot better. And we're talking like 10 shots at the end of the day. That's a lot when you're shooting 100 to shoot 90. You can do that with equipment. You really can at that point, I think. And everybody says, well, no, you're not efficient enough to notice a difference. That's kind of the misconception. I think you've heard this before. Oh, I'm not good enough to get fit. I'm not consistent enough. Dude, you can still have like a consistent feel across your set that will help you play much better. So, with the driver, I'd say that's it. If you have a driver that you don't need to go buy the newest $700 driver. I think the only thing that's changed in the last 3 years is color, sound, and feel. I don't think things have really improved in the forgiveness in the spin rate department. I think they've been kind of stagnant. So,
Well, it would become illegal at a point,
all right,
right?
like you would
So,
just 10K is like the max, right? And then coefficient of restitution, they hit that fucking like 20 years ago. Um, yeah,
so
at this
really,
point,
shafts are big. I mean, the Ventus has become like the shaft that everybody tries
Mhm.
to go get fitted for, right? But even I'll give you my scenario is like we did a show over at PXG and they were kind enough to build me a driver. Well, we didn't go through a full driver fitting, right? So
No,
they
you
kind of
just hit a
went
few.
exactly, hit a few. They're like, "Oh, here we're going to match this up for you." And sure enough, like for about a year, I hit that thing, but I struggled to hit it and hit it. Like when I would be warmed up, I would hit that little cut with it, you know? When all of a sudden, first tee shot and so forth, it was like swinging a telephone pole. And so, my guy, Ruben, over at Custom Golf AZ, when I started talking to him about it, because he's a master club fitter, and sure enough, like talking with him, he was just like, well, let's get that thing in here and let's mess around with some shafts and so forth. So I went from the Ventus Blue to the Ventus Black, went from an X down to a stiff. And then from there, we started looking at the weight and the weight of the driver based off of how I was swinging it at the time was an E, like E10 or E0 or something like that. It was something crazy. I don't even remember what it was because I've never heard the E number,
That's
like
insane,
letter
bro.
before. Yeah. So I'm like, no wonder it felt like I was swinging a telephone pole. All of a sudden, he puts it to D3 and we mess around with the weights a little bit. And now it's just absolutely butter. It feels so good. It goes further. And I'm just like, man, what a difference. Same driver, different shaft, different weights, and all of a sudden we're absolutely dialed in with that driver, and I just absolutely love it now. Like I'm obsessed with it. Which also, I will say that you and that commercial that you did for PXG with the whole driver thing, that reminds me of that scenario to where it's like, yeah, go in, get fitted, like hit those drivers because telling you, man, like there's not a huge difference between them. And if they get you set up right, you are going to hit it further than your current driver. That is for sure.
And that's one thing, not to blow PXG here, but that I think they take a little more pride in backing that $500 contest. I think they understand that, their driver is going to be just like most of the drivers out there, but what they do have that you're probably going to get beat on is their fitter and what they have in house. to offer you is going to be better than what anybody at the PJ Superstore is going to throw your way. So if you, like you said, if you really go in for a full blown fitting, um, they're going to dial you in
Yeah. Then there's a
for sure.
company called Forward Golf that is doing these
Love
fittings,
them.
and it's not even for just their own irons. They're actually like, whatever you want to play, we're going to get you fitted properly. And they're doing bounce, like with
Bounce.
fairway irons and so forth. Like, we're not just talking about wedges here, and they're doing everything. And I just think that that company in particular, with their fitting process and everything, is really kind of pushing that envelope forward, pun
Yeah.
intended, around, getting to the next level when it comes to fitting for irons and getting people fitted into the right clubs for them. And again, it kind of goes to that same point that you were saying, where it's like, man, it makes such a difference to get fit properly. So definitely check them out, by the way, folks, if you get a chance, if you haven't heard
Dude,
of them.
they're like the lab golf of irons at
Yeah,
this
it
point.
does feel like that.
Pretty much, yeah. That fitting kit that they have, I mean, you start, they're doing shit like if you fall towards the toe ever so slightly, like they're throwing weight out drilled into the head, like near the toe to get mass over to where your miss is. Like crazy optimization that you're just not going to see with the franchise guys, like the big box people. And that's exactly what Lab does. And they got
Yeah.
bots, so we'll see if it stays that way. But yeah,
Yeah, so they're doing some
pretty
cool
cool.
stuff. Also, so let's talk a little bit about, you know, would you prefer going out there as a golfer and being the first off, first thing in the morning, not having a group in front of you, potentially having some like dew on the ground? Uh, do you love that more, or do you like being the last one in as the sun's setting and so forth?
This is tough for me. I like the idea of the morning round. I think it's beautiful in the morning. The dew is on the grass. The grass is freshly cut. The greens are perfect. Just a little bit of moisture out there. The smell is amazing. But physically, I don't play well first thing in the morning. I never have. I much prefer getting food in me and being a little loose and playing at the end of the day when it's a little warmer out, chasing the sun down than being first out.
I'm with you. I think the best time of day to play a round of golf is late afternoon. Shadows start getting long, and maybe it's just reminiscence for me as a junior golfer way back in the day, to where like that was the time
Mhm.
that we got out on the golf course. 3 o'clock, you go out, you play till dark. And there were plenty of times to when, when my game got really good in high school, my senior year, I would play in the dark, complete pitch black dark, and I would just go walk to where I thought I hit the golf ball. And I would play 9 holes that way, just in the dark. And like, that is one way that you can really figure out if you're dialed or not, is playing in the complete pitch black environment. But yeah, those long shadows, especially on a nice cooler day, even in the fall in like New York, like that
Yeah,
was always just like, man, there is nothing better than playing with the sun coming down. You might have a sweater on because it's getting a little colder. Just an absolute blast. So I'm with you
golden
there.
hour,
Yeah, the good
the
old
golden hour.
golden hour. And you're right. I mean, first off sounds awesome. And there are people that absolutely love being first off. I mean, when I was up at Desert Mountain, for instance, there was a group that was always first off. Like they were always wanting that very first tee time. And they would play like, and here's the crazy thing, they would walk as a foursome. There was a lady in the group as well who was a hell of a golfer. And they would be done in about 2 hours and 40 minutes playing 18 holes at Desert Mountain. Like they truck.
That's impressive.
Isn't that wild?
It's a whole dude. Like I mean, it's a whole different type of golf, and I mean that. Like you don't hit the ball the same in the morning. You really don't.
No, it
Ball don't
doesn't go
fly
as
the same.
far.
There's water on everything. It's flying wet. Like yeah. But there's something to be said about it, right? Like it's fucking cool. It's awesome being out there first and something fresh about it. But like you said, man, and that afternoon golden hour. rolling that right into some dinner and chilling out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nice. Uh, let's get so once you do finish a round of golf, you get to the end. This is something that, when we first brought this up, we had a lot of pushback around whether or not to tip the outside services guy. And it's like, man, a lot of people didn't have the etiquette, weren't taught. Like, do you go into a restaurant and there are some people that go into a restaurant and do not tip for the service that was provided. Like, do not tip at a restaurant, but
Ugh.
it is exactly the same thing, folks. If they brought you a golf cart, even if you're not getting your clubs clean, how much should you be tipping the outside services guys?
$10 at least, especially in today's day and age with like $10, man.
Damn,
Like
that's steep.
$10? Come on, that's a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Like it's $10. Like $10 is not going to get that kid very far, anyways, or whoever it is. Like it's $10. You know, what percentage of that is what you paid for your round? Let's say your rounds, $100 on average. I mean, that's not even on par with what you'd give a server. So, yeah,
You know what? This might be the avenue that golf courses should go. When you pay for your round of golf, all of a sudden there is either gratuity included or a gratuity button to push for how much you want it to.
yeah. I mean, it's just then you start having to pool it with the shop guys, and that turns into a whole, yeah,
Oh, you're thinking about from the employee standpoint.
yeah,
It's a good point. But there's no
yeah.
taxes on tips now. So
True. I just think we bring $10 to the golf course and plan on giving it to the kid after the round, and it's no fucking sweat off your back. You're not gonna go broke doing that, and he's very happy. And at $10, you'll notice if a kid is not working very hard or he's not interested in what you're doing because he's been stiffed all day. Watch how fast those clubs get fucking laser cleaned. Like, and that pumps some people up. Like, it's just a gesture. It's not too much, but it's $10. It's like, hey, I gave you $10. That's decent. You better like buff the clubs real nice.
yeah. And it's just like a server at a restaurant. They're being paid below minimum wage a lot of times. And they're mainly living off of tips. And especially out here in Arizona, you got a lot of guys working outside services that are trying to play the game competitively. And
Correct.
you want to help support that infrastructure of guys that are able to do that, make a living off of that enough to be able to go play competitively. That's not going to get me into a rant around, how professional golf is structured and how it should be structured, but that will get us into our very next topic, which is around owning golf clothes. So out here in Arizona, I have noticed the shift. I partake in the shift now to where I used to be always a polo guy, tucked into shorts, white belt. I hate to admit it, but white belt guy with some golf shoes that were, not Jordans for the longest time. And now it's very much so streetwear. Like I'll go play. I got a t-shirt on. I've got shorts. The culture has completely shifted when it comes to golf clothes. So talk to the amateurs out there
Yeah.
around what you should do, how you should go about golf clothes.
Like I would say, I would go a little step above. It's not quite streetwear for me. That's not where I would go with it. But even in the professional world, right? That's where I would go with it. Like I'm in sales, and that's what I do all day for my real job, as you could call it, whatever. Um, 20 years ago, that's something that you'd see a guy in some sort of Docker looking pant, belt, button up, tucked in, if not a suit even, and a tie. I would say what golf has done is that's gone. That's completely gone. Like that's out. Now it's like a jogger of some sort with stretchy fabric as a pant, or even a pair of jeans that are stretchy, that are very comfortable, and an untucked polo. I mean, that's my uniform on a daily basis now. Is It's a polo. It's hot as fuck here in Arizona, anyways. So there's no way I'd ever wear a suit. But um, golf clothes off the golf course work everywhere now. And then to your point, even below that, like you're starting to see it be acceptable to wear a golf themed or oriented t-shirt that's very much street looking attire, that's now accepted at the golf level. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
And since we have the sponsorship with Devereux, like my style has completely changed as well to where like I'll wear a t-shirt, I'll wear the Devereux shorts that don't even have like belt loops. Like I
Yeah.
prefer that now. But now I'm
Yeah.
to the point where I'm going to play a member cast this weekend and I'm like at a country club. Granted, it's not like over the top where, you know, but I'm in a situation where I'm like, man, how should I dress when I get out there? I'm like, I for so long now have been doing grass clippings and wearing the Devereux stuff like we normally wear, where it's untucked shirt, you don't have belt loops in the shorts, like they're more like athletic shorts. I just, I'm almost to the point where I'm like, like I'm curious as to like how I'm gonna put together outfits right now and everything.
Have you noticed though, even in on the golf side, it's just funny how it cycles back. There is almost a resurgence of like I don't want to call it proper, but like classic 90s on course attire. Like now you're starting to see like a baggy pleat coming back with it tucked in, with a hanging leather belt or like the weave belts and shit. Like that's all coming back. Baggier
Yeah, you
polo,
think of
like
like Malbun, right? With
very much
what
so.
they've done
Yeah.
with Jason Day and even like with Devereux, like with Burt goes out there and like during once the weather gets a little bit cooler, I'll be doing the same thing where the pleated pants and the old school like 90s style tiger, it's coming back. And I am really pumped up about that because that is a style, right?
Oh
But it
yeah.
is so hard during the summer to like have really good style that is like traditional golf because traditional golf, when you think about it, is pants tucked in with a belt with old school golf shoes.
Pleated pleated pants.
I love pleated pants. I love
I
the
do
room.
too. Everybody talks shit. There's nothing cooler than watching Tiger walk down a fairway with the flowing pleated fucking slacks on. Just it just looks so gangster. Like, and I don't
It
care what
was the
anybody. Oh,
best.
don't bring that back. It's so sick. Like that's. I mean, obviously we're that age where these kids they talk about aura farming. Like that shit's aura. That's aura.
Yeah. That is like
Yeah.
the dude standing on the boat doing his little stuff and then pointing at the crowd. It's incredible too how that phenomenon took off on social media for a little while and still is kind of going. I still see a clip here and there. It's definitely toned down, but they interviewed that kid
Oh,
and
really?
he was like, like apparently he's a celebrity over there now because of how viral it went on social media. But their entire job is to aura farm. Like that is it. Like there's no technical thing that he's doing. Like he's not like getting the guys behind him to go into a sequence or like a pattern or anything like that. No.
Yeah.
Like his entire job is to hype up the crowd. That's wild.
Yeah. That is wild. All these fucking trends and yeah, social media, man. It's like every 90 days there's a new news cycle of a trend, right? That sticks for a
It
while and
really
then it's
is.
gone. There's a new one. I mean, remember planking? Do you remember planking when people were planking on stuff?
No.
Look up. I hope people in the audience remember planking because I thought it was some of the funniest shit ever. And then as soon as it was here, it was gone. That's where you would lay flat out on in the craziest positions ever. There's people like playing on a street light. Friend would take- I'm sorry, it's
Let's
fucking
see. It sounds like you're
hilarious.
gonna bring it back.
We got to do planking on the golf course, like on the carts and shit. That shit is so funny. My God.
Get on top of the cart.
Just after we get
Just
off
do a
this tonight,
plank.
just look up planking, best of planking, and you
I'm gonna
will
because I
see.
literally do planking in the gym pretty consistently now. I would say 2 out of every 3 training sessions, I'm doing some type of plank.
Imagine laying flat out like a board with the Superman pose and pointing your feet and trying to stay as rock flat stiff but then trying to do that in the craziest fucking locations you could possibly think. Like, the more ridiculous, the better. Yeah, that's
Love it.
planking. So,
You know,
anyways, got a little
Tr-
sidetrack.
Trot just brought this up. Just pay me money and you can wear whatever you want. Just keep up with the group in front of you. So there's two kind of points there, right? Is that I believe golf is starting to head in this direction to where it's more acceptable to show your personality, whether it's in street clothes out there and just be
Yeah.
like, have it be a golf theme, right? That's kind of where it matters to that degree. Like, don't show up in, I don't know, like, I don't even want to get into telling people and other grown men like what they should be wearing,
I
which
mean,
golf always kind of has done.
here's the way I would liken that, right? You don't show up to a five-star steakhouse with a fucking wife beater and cut up stained shorts on, you know? So, and they're not going to kick you out if you do. I mean, maybe some places might, like really high-end joints, but I
Not the
don't think
Golden
golf.
Corral.
No, man, the corral. Don't bring up the corral. I'm on a diet, bro. That sounds good right now. Oh, a little wine chicken with a little hush puppies and shrimp. Anyways, yeah, I like Trot's approach. Like, obviously, we're not going to kick you out, but it doesn't take much of a brain to put something together to look halfway decent when you show up to a golf course or anywhere outside of your home, for that matter. Just don't look like an idiot.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Don't look like an idiot. I like that. That's a good rule of thumb.
Subjective, right? I mean, some people
Yeah.
don't know what that means, right? I mean, there's furries running around, so uh, yeah.
Yeah. Just keep up with the group ahead of you. This goes to what we were talking about, where there almost needs to be a license in the game of golf to where there should be levels that you should have to get to as a golfer and understand like etiquette. Like there should be almost a course on etiquette because it's something when you play junior golf and you're growing up through the game, like you understand these things. And like I said, we just don't have as many guys that have like come up through the game. Like there's 4 guys from the office that all of a sudden want to go out and play golf. And they all just like have secondary sets or whatever. Never really played golf before. They're going out and they're just going to go hack it around and they're slow. I mean, there's golf fights that are coming from this. So that are stemming from slow play from
Bro,
guys that just don't get it.
golf now, right? Like the big, is it still one of the biggest engines that people book through, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
probably, I'm
I would
sure.
say so.
Let's just say it records your answers or your passing of a test for like a year with your login. And if you haven't taken the 20 question test that gives you the answer when you fail it, um, then you have to do that. But even that little tiny, just 20 questions, the most obvious questions to anybody that knows the game of golf. Okay, you got these 5 questions wrong. Here's the correct answer. Go try again, get the right question. Just having that in the back of people's heads, I bet, would actually make a difference. You know what I mean? Like
I think so.
the most basic test, it takes fucking 4 minutes. You got to pass it before you can book your time. Once you do, book all you want until you have to take another one to qualify next year. I think that
Yeah.
could really solve a lot of problems.
It could be quick. I mean, shoot. It could be like skydiving where you got to go watch a video before you're able to go out.
It would be enough where that situation would come up on the course and that guy would at least think he might still make this the wrong move and be an idiot, but he would at least think about it.
Or when you rent a boat, like they take you through, like, hey, this is what you should do in this situation or that situation. And then you got that basic knowledge behind you. I just feel like we need to start getting to that place where there's too many, as you called them, ridiculous people out there on the golf course nowadays, packing it up, slow playing it. And we need to get back to a place to where, the answer isn't shrinking the game. It's more so educating the people that have now joined into this awesome game. And I love that the game's growing from a participation standpoint. All for that, right? Like, we're not here to say that we don't want them playing, but that's what we really should start to get to.
Yeah, we live in a world where nobody gives a fuck about each other anymore. And it's like, let's just have some cognizance to the people around you and how we can all have a good time out there.
Kyle brings up that it never will happen. That's the reason there's country clubs. Problem is, country clubs are so just money based. to where it's like, unless you're going to fork over a bunch of money, and I get it, for a lot of guys, it's networking, it's getting a group together. But yeah, I don't know. To me, I wouldn't want to see that money is going to be the object that's going to separate
He's right, though. I
from,
mean, it won't ever happen. It's just,
yeah, probably not.
it's an interesting thing. I mean, there's a lot of solutions to a lot of problems that will never happen, and it's just funny that it would be that easy to enact change. And yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing, though. It would result in more money at the end of the day for golf courses and everything. People would spend more. There'd be less irritated folks. You'd get more people in and out in a faster amount of time. Better pace of play. Better reviews online. Blah 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 blah. You charge more. Like it would have a trickle down effect. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we shall see. Last thing we'll go over on this one. So, as part of our amateur golf rants, if you get invited to a member guest, just kind of getting into the fact that I'm going to be playing this weekend in a member guest. If you're the member, what should you like? Let's say that you got somebody that's coming in for the first time. What are some of the things that you should tell them in advance that they should know about from the club?
What do you mean? Like
So like the
they're
etiquette behind it, like how it's different than, going to a normal, like some of these things like dress code, like, hey man, like you're going to need to tuck in your shirt. Just want to make sure you know that. Like if there's policies and so forth around it, like the one that I was talking to you about, where I was like, yeah, normally you got to go into the locker room to change your shoes. And that's kind of sometimes with country clubs, they force you to do that. Like they do not want you changing your spikes out in the parking lot. So little things like that. Like, should there be almost like a checklist of things that somebody should send over to you? Like, obviously, if somebody has been to a lot of country clubs, like I'm not a good example of
I don't know.
like,
I mean, like don't wear your hat inside.
Mhm.
You're probably a pretty good bet not doing that. Just in case there are places that will enforce that. I've been to many of them and felt like a complete idiot when they're like, take it off. I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? So that,
There's been a
maybe
few where
let's,
there's blazers that you have to wear if you're going to go to dinner inside the club.
maybe Venmo your member for whatever you're going to drink that day because it's probably going to go on a tab. Like you're not going to be able to pay, stuff like that. Rack up a tab. You usually can't pay. You need a name. That's another thing. I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
That's actually one that I don't know if I've ever run into where it probably is a good idea for the member to be like, hey, just, whatever you eat, drink, whatever, like it has to go on my account. I've never
hmm
had this though, because normally if you're a member at a country club,
you're not
you're
worried about
probably
that.
just covering it for
Yeah,
whoever you're bringing into there. It's kind of part of the thing. But that would be a nice thing to be
you'd
like,
sound like a
hey,
cheap
like,
bastard if you said
yeah, you
something like
really
that.
would, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I belong to a club, you don't. And
Now, you wouldn't sound like a cheap bastard if you knew you were inviting me out to play with you, because
plenty of booze
on
are going to be going down.
yeah, it would be excessive to not to let me run wild with your account at a private club.
Yeah, if
Uh,
I was a member somewhere and I invited you to come over for a round,
or
probably
at
be
least
like,
be
"Hey
like, hey,
man,
take
just
it easy
just
today.
just Venmo me. Like I'll send you a bill afterwards, but just Venmo."
Yeah, you ran up a fucking $8,100 tab
Yeah.
today. I'm not covering that.
You literally drank 3 grand in 9
Oh,
holes.
you could do that though at a private joint. Like you really can.
Yeah.
We ran into this. I won't name names. Kyle knows, and I won't name the club that something like this went down. And it's a club that canned stuff is great, hard stuff is not great, and they're charging heavily for that. So yeah, one of our friends found that out the hard way.
This is a good one. The people that use range balls. So you've had an incident where you were actually just creating a like a
Oh,
clip and got booted from a place that we will remain nameless, which yeah, I don't even want to elaborate further off of that, but folks, do not. And I actually had a buddy the other day to where he found one while we were out at grass clippings and had no idea that you can't, like, you should not be playing your round of golf with a range ball. He's like, how do you know it's a range ball? Like, you see those black stripes? You see where it says super range? Like, that's a range ball, my friend.
It's the most scumbag thing that anybody can ever do is that they finally get out to the private club that has Pro Vs and they load their bag up with them. That's the shittiest, scummiest thing you can ever do. My situation, that's not what happened. I told you what happened. And
Yeah.
I even had somebody that tried to like whack me. They heard the story and they're like, "What kind of a piece of shit are you? Like, you stealing balls?" I'm like, "Do you really think I'm fucking
They were
stealing
Pro
golf balls?"
Vs.
I took one ball and colored over it for a video and threw it back in the range. Banned forever.
Kyle wants you to share the Silverleaf story.
Well, I wasn't gonna say Silverleaf, Kyle. That's what I was trying to remain nameless about. But
And
yeah.
then he brings up the other one. Jeez Louise.
Kyle can tell me where we leaving names out of this because I'd gladly tell the whole fucking story.
What's amazing is the one that I wasn't gonna name, but he drops it in the chat. I was there that day, and you and I didn't know each other, so it was kind
Oh, yeah,
of
that's
wild
right.
that, like, yeah, I was actually in the golf shop, so that was
Some
a wild
asshole out
one.
there, some influencer out there. He's stealing balls. What a piece of shit.
Oh, dude, I remember the conversation from not the director of golf, the head pro, and then there was the assistant head pro,
Oh, I
and they
bet they
both come
douched out
walking in.
hard.
Oh man, it was wild because it was such a rumor mill that ended
Yeah.
up taking place. Like, nobody saw it; they just heard about it, and of course it was,
Well,
oh, he's throwing all these golf balls into his bag, and it's just like, oh no.
yeah, man. Times were pretty tough. I was living out of a trash can. I really needed those balls. Yeah, guys. This goes back to the shop guys conversation. That's how those
Yeah.
motherfuckers work, dude. Like yeah, I could see them just like a couple of hens at a bridge game, just eating that up. We got
We
the
are
green
not
light from
welcomed
Kyle there.
anymore. I don't know, but we do have one from Pop the Situation. Donated $50. Kyle says that they didn't like that. I'm trying to pull up everything to see if he gave the approval to drop some names. I don't know. He did the laugh a lot.
Well, yeah. It was Pup that did this, and the funniest part is I didn't really know that uh, this was getting charged. So at the Leaf, it's well known that high noons, white claws, all that shit, that's free. That's you can grab those wherever they exist, and that's fine. Hard booze, not free. Goes on somebody's account. Didn't know that. But the funniest part is we're stopping at the fucking halfway house. And Pup is going in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go get us a drink." I'm like, "Oh, he's going to get us a drink." All right, like I'm thinking he's like buying these drinks, and he's coming out with a drink. He's like, "Here, I got you one too." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Like, cool." This is getting charged to. I won't say his name. Professional baseball player though. This is all getting
Oh, I
charged
know
to
who
his
it is.
account.
Yeah.
Getting fucking charged to his account like $1,000, 1,500. I don't know what it was. I ended up immediately sending him money like a day later when I found out what happened. But yeah, it was a pretty funny deal. Yeah, ran
Yeah.
up a huge bill.
It was over 1,000, as I recall from the story.
I believe it may have been a couple thousand by the time the end of the day rolled around, and it was just a hell of a deal. Yeah, and my
Hell of a
man
deal.
showed up in a t-shirt and jeans, and it was just a good day.
The jeans is tough. Silverleaf, I feel like you can get away with the t-shirt nowadays.
I don't think he had jeans on, but yeah,
The
yeah.
t-shirt, I feel like, is all like Silverleaf has gotten very casual.
Depends on what kind of t-shirt we're talking. Like,
Yeah.
there's even an etiquette to that, right? Like you got a Lululemon t-shirt on and you look like you're in gym wear, it's probably okay. You know, Milwaukee's best. I don't know. Might not be the play.
Yeah,
Not yet.
fair
We'll
play.
get there. But as far as I'm concerned, it goes the other way, right? If you're paying $1 million to play golf out there, I should be able to do all except be naked.
Here we go. Kyle said he had basketball shorts on and a t-shirt.
That's right.
Did we miss anything throughout our rants around amateur golf?
I don't know. I think the rise and fall, or maybe it hasn't fallen yet, of like everybody on Instagram taking advantage of talking about the on-course hot dog, aka the glizzy, having a glizzy at the turn,
Oh yeah, the best course on the food. Or
best
best
food on the
course on the food.
course.
Best
There,
food on the
little
course. My dyslexia got
dyslexia
me.
there. That's all
Yeah.
right. I, hot dog's a fucking mess out there. It's a mess. You get grease all over your glove or your hands, and you just really never recover from that. It's not that good. Do people really like hot dogs out on the golf course? Is that really like, oh my god, I cannot wait to eat
It's
this hot dog?
it's because a lot of them have those little like
The
what are
wheels,
they called? Yeah, the little wheels
the
inside
hot
the
rollers.
metal. Yeah,
Yeah,
and those tend to make a pretty good hot dog. I feel like so. Those are
it's a hot
they're
dog though,
ready.
Matt.
They're ready. They're there.
It's hot
Um,
food.
I I would do a hot dog from time to time where I don't put anything on it though.
It's literally the shittiest food that you could eat though.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle just said it. ChatGPT says a hot dog is one of the worst things a human can consume.
It is. It's like the most toxic fucking thing that you can eat. Now, I'm not sitting here being a beacon of health because God knows, but yeah, I don't know how the hot dog rose to, I guess what I would say is rose to such fame out on the golf course. I think, like you said, maybe it's, is it the only option for hot food that's quick? Do we have other options that we could offer?
Buttsy says, Trot Golfer says, Buttsy, we're working on the corn dog during overseed.
Now, a fucking corn dog? Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with gas because
You lit up as soon as the corn dog conversation came
it has
up.
nothing to do. Like, I will literally chow down the inside, which is a hot dog and the worst thing you could eat because it is covered in cornbread. I love cornbread more than I no, you can't say that. That's
Is
like
that allowed in your diet?
no, and it's very
No.
difficult. No, I bought like a scratch and sniff cornbread thing. So whenever I'm wanting it, I just roll over and I scratch that little thing in my bed. I sniff the fuck out of it. It satisfies me.
I feel like the thing that has gotten me through, because I'm eating very, very clean, and it's called a mitochondria diet plan through Stark Health. And so there's no gluten, it's mainly whole foods. The one thing that has got me through though is the protein level. Like I have to eat so much protein that like I used to back when I would like diet from time to time just to lose some weight, would like crave food. I really don't through this whole entire thing, which is pretty wild
You're full.
because I used to be such a foodie. And now it's just like I've got my regiment to where like I eat what I eat and I do it basically over and over and over again every single day. So there's not a lot of variation to it. There's not a lot of surprises that come along. But that's going to be another one to where when I get to this member guest, I'm like, shit, do I pack meals to go to this thing? Like, I got to start thinking about that.
That's a tough deal, man. It's like
I know I got to be.
me personally, I have to do shit like that. Like I have to prepare myself and bring stuff because if I fall off for a weekend, like it can be tough to get back into the regimen, and it's like 10 times as hard. It's just easier just to like you said, bring a fucking protein bar, whatever you're gonna eat, some snacks, some jerky, whatever you got to do.
That's what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to go the jerky route and also bring like protein, just protein powder, and just kind of go that direction with it as much as possible and just be discreet about it. Not to where like I'm packing like little meals to come
Shaking
along
your
with
shaker cup out there on the fucking. Oh no, I'm good. I got a protein shake, bro. Don't worry. Enjoy your fucking hot dog.
So yeah, there you have it. And by the way, stopping at 9 and getting food, I feel like And actually, where's Austin here? Here's his comment. Sir, you guys are 2 minutes behind pace. So I feel like if when you stop at after 9 and you're getting them to cook you something at that point, not a good
You're an
idea.
asshole. No, you're an
Yeah,
asshole.
because you're just
Yeah.
slowing up everything at that point. I've had buddies where like they didn't give two shits. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna order, X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna order a steak, and I'm gonna like that's fake. But that being said, I'm
Oh,
trying to give that visual of like them having to make you something versus something pre-made or ready to go, and that has happened, and it drives me nuts because it's like, oh shit, and you see the group finishing up on the last hole, like all of a sudden having to wait for you. You haven't even teed off yet. Just like, damn. So that's the other thing that I would watch out for. Plan ahead, folks. Do not like if you're gonna grab something that's ready, fine. But if you're gonna sit there and have to wait for somebody to make you whatever meal it is,
call that shit in before. Call it in on
yeah,
6. Call the golf course. Put them on speaker while you're waiting to tee off. Hey, we're making the turn in 30 minutes. I want a fucking chicken Caesar wrap. Okay, pop in. It's done. It's the same thing Uber Eats does. Those people don't wait to pick up their food because somebody called
no,
it
they
in.
don't.
Okay? Why can't you do Uber Eats on the golf course? Like, do the same shit. Don't fucking sit like you said. That's part of the etiquette game. Or, hey, what do you got that's quick? Hot dog? Okay, I'll fucking wait. I'll eat later. Have a turkey sandwich? Yeah, give me that. I'll neck it down real quick. I'm good.
The other one that comes from that, right, with the you guys are 2 minutes behind pace, is the Ranger that's out there. We've gone over this in detail. If you guys want to see something that was funny, officially Sunny was who we had on for that episode, and that was a pretty good one. Go
Yeah.
back, watch that episode, but just give a quick synopsis really fast around the Ranger and that ordeal and what you should do if you are being pressed by the Ranger.
It depends on if it's warranted, man. I mean, I don't remember the exact details that we talked about with Sonny. That was a few eps ago, but it has to be warranted. If you're behind. Okay, it's not a personal shot at you. So if you are, just man up. I'm fucking behind and heed that call and don't be an asshole. And I think we talked about this with Sony. Half the time, it's a 90-year-old guy that's fucking either got a chip on his shoulder and he's senile, or he's a war vet, or it's just a lot of not good situations that guy's going through, or he's terrified and he doesn't want to say anything to you to begin with.
Yeah.
Um, Move it along. Now, that's one side of the coin. The other side is, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, we're waiting every shot. We are not behind. Um, Sometimes you have to say that. I'll ask you, how do you go about conveying that when you know that you're not behind? Maybe the guy pulls up right when they leave the green on a par 3 and they drove around a bush and he happens on you right there and it looks like you're behind. What do you say?
That is a good question because
Because that can happen.
normally
That timing happens.
it does. And the usual response is we were just waiting on the group in front of us and on the last hole. I would say that is the common thing that people say. That I've said it before to a Ranger to where it's like, hey man, we were just waiting on them. And
Or
then
maybe
you
you just
kind of
say, maybe you just don't, like, maybe just swallow the pride, right? And just say, okay, you're right. And it's going to work itself out anyways, because
That's what
you're,
that's the next thing that I have done more recently
hmm
because I feel like I come across as a dick when I say anything else to
100%.
to like a Ranger trying to do his job. It's just like, okay, thank you. And then you kind of talk about it in your group. You're like, that motherfucker, I can't believe that he's on our ass. We were just waiting on the group in front of us. Like that whole thing, that whole conversation happens. But for the like interaction with the Ranger, they're just doing their job. So just like I've gotten to the point to where, yeah, I don't even say anything at this point because I know I'll come across as just being a dick.
Just kindness, killing with kindness goes a long way, right? Like, I personally, I am unaffected by thinking that a ranger might be in the wrong about my position on the golf course.
Yeah.
I'm not getting infuriated or finding hatred in that situation. I'm not like, God, that motherfucker, son of a bitch.
Just getting absolutely fired up.
A
I'm going to
lot of those
murder
guys
that
out there,
man.
though. There's a lot of guys out there that's the first answer to that issue, and they don't think about it. It's like, okay, this fucking just sounds good, man. Sorry, appreciate it. We're gonna pick it up.
Yeah. Trot's got the, we will catch up. Thanks. Like that's perfect. I love that.
That's all you have to say.
The other one that just popped into my head is yell fore, folks. If there is a slight chance that a golf ball that you have just struck terribly is heading towards a group, yell fore. Now, we've all been there. Like it happened today to where this group that was like 3 holes like across the way, this dude sprayed one. He hit it a long way, but he sprayed one and it came like over our heads and he didn't even want to come over. They were pretending like they were just going to go hit the other golf balls. What I love about Trot is he just yells over to the kid. He's like, "Hey, you going to play your golf ball?" And the kid like looks over. He's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden comes over and Trot's just like, where are you going to play? Like, that's your tee shot, right? You're going to play your tee shot? And the kid's just like, sorry about that. And you could just tell though that he wanted to avoid the interaction completely because they didn't yell for.
That's
That it
what I was
wasn't
gonna
even
say.
a thought.
If you play like a tight neighborhood course and you very obviously rip one into a bunch of houses and hear it bang around, um, there's no need to like try to avoid that area. Just go over, and it looks way better to say, "Hey, dude, like, everybody okay?" Now you might get a fucking psychopath that forgot that he bought a house on the golf course. That does happen as well. Son of a bitch, learn to fuck out. Hey, brother, if I knew I was gonna hit you, I wouldn't be here right now. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, it's a tough one, I guess. That's
So
tough.
I actually have a funny story about playing in a pro event on the Butch Harmon Vegas tour. We were
Yeah.
playing the Las Vegas, gosh, it's where they used to play the Las Vegas Invitational.
Okay.
I can't remember the course name. Trot, maybe you could look this one up, but it's like right in Las Vegas. And I was the 9th hole. I end up pull hooking, which is where this whole entire concept of this show comes from. And it went right into the stucco of this woman's house. And she had a net. And it went like through the net, like caught like one of the hole spaces and went
Cruising.
right in. And she was outside. So she comes over and I'm just like, I walked right up to her. I'm just like, I am so sorry. Like, we're in a pro event. Like, I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry about that. And she goes, look what you did. And I'm like, yeah, I see the golf ball stuck in your stucco. Really sorry about that. Like, what do you do in that instance other than just apologize? Like, I feel
think you
like
hop the fence with your lob wedge and start to take divots out of her stucco until the ball comes out.
I couldn't believe it. Like, I
That
was just
sucks,
like,
dude.
gosh
That
darn it,
sucks.
man. And I had a good round going too. I think I was like a couple under and ended up doing that. And I'm like, oh, there goes the round. Absolutely just, but that used to be my MO. I would ruin golf rounds just with that pull hook. And then it's done. Like, hit it OB and good luck from there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do it off one, and you don't want to do it when you're playing well coming down the stretch. Those are just really. That's why when we talked about the best golf movie, there's a bunch of comments to that too that I posted. I don't know how, as a good player, people don't put Tin Cup at the top because of that gut wrenching scenario on 18 that anybody can. That's just horrible. So
It's just they're two totally different movies between Caddyshack to Tin Cup.
yeah,
And I'm with you. Like both of those are like my favorite for a different reason for each, but they're so contrasting in terms of their style, like why you want to watch it. And I thought about this a lot after last week's episode because I was not ready to do the Mount Rushmore. We even had a smartass on TikTok that was like, Mount Rushmore is only 4, not 5. And I'm like, good for you, but I wasn't ready to do that segment. And the more I thought about it over this week, I'm sitting there going, it's kind of 1A and 1B, but for two totally different reasons.
I kind of look at it like it's just two different emotions. You got
Yeah.
one that's very dramatic and pulls on the heartstrings, and the other one is just very funny.
Yeah.
And I feel like the stronger of those two, like Caddyshack is very funny, but it is not even close to the funniest movie I've ever seen. Um, it did not have me pissing myself laughing on the floor. It is very, very entertaining to watch, but in terms of feel, and maybe I'm analyzing this way too far. In fact, I know I am, but the drama from Tin Cup, the feeling, like I don't even like watching the movie over again to this day because it's coming. He's gonna do it, and you think you're gonna see an alternate ending, and the same thing happens, and it just fucking tugs on me way harder than Caddyshack made me laugh. So that's kind of why it's at the top for me.
I think you don't love Caddyshack that much.
I love Caddyshack. It's okay. It's just Yeah, it's just an old slapstick comedy that's really good and probably the first shot at a funny golf movie ever. Um, so it holds that crown, but
There you go.
it doesn't do what Cup does to me. I fucking hate Tin Cup as much as I love it.
Oh man, you could tell there is some scar tissue there with good old Buttsy with being in some of those moments. He's a risk taker out there on the golf course. But folks, that's where we're going to end it tonight. We want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Devereux Golf. Folks, utilize the promo code PullHookGolf20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order over at DevereuxGolf.com. We've also got Rokform, and folks, the speakers, the iPhone cases, the magnets that they have are just beyond anything that I have tried before. So utilize the promo code PullHook2025 for all your needs over at rockform.com and get 20% off your entire order there. Vice Golf promo code PullHook, 15% off. And once again, folks, peace out. A-Town down. See you, everybody.